Hello guys, welcome to Traders Therapy Session. In today's video, we'll be analyzing gold USD. Please guys, if you did not watch the previous video, I recommend that you go and watch that video, then you come back to this video. That way, you will understand where we are at this point, because this video is just a continuation of what we have already analyzed. In that sense, I mean, this video is going to be shorter compared to the last video. So without wasting any time, let's see what will the market provide, or what did the market do last week. Okay, so let's just jump to weekly time frame where we are at this point. We are still on an uptrend. Nothing can change in 1 week like this. Nothing can change this trend in 1 week. We were pulling back from last week. Then this is a pullback leg. Then attempted to push up. The price attempted to push up, and we had a pullback. This is where we were last week. We wanted the next candle to do what? To break above and close above, so that we can get a confirmation that the price will move up. So what did we have here? We have this candlestick pattern, which is a hammer. But what is happening here? What is happening here? This candle broke below the price and closed above, did not break above the price. But we cannot just say this is the reversal candlestick pattern based off where it is. If this candle was on a resistance, maybe like these two candles right here, while they were on a resistance, then we would say the price has what? The price has there's more probability, I mean to say, for price to go down. But I'm not saying that the price cannot go down from where it is at this point. So this is what we have. Price broke below, then after closed above. And this move, I believe this move maybe was influenced by an NFP on Friday. So without wasting any time, maybe let's redraw our trend line, the one that we had last week. Let's take it from there, then to there. I drew my trend line based off candle wicks. There's nothing wrong if somebody can draw it based off the candle body close. There's nothing wrong based off that. But the main important thing is that the price, we have a resistance here, we have a resistance here. This is point A, point B, point C. Then the fourth point broke above and coming to retest. Then here is the question. We don't know whether this is a valid retest or it's just a fake out for price to come back down. Sorry for that. Then what we are looking for, based off weekly time frame, this is what we can say, only based off weekly time frame. Then let's go to maybe daily time frame to see more data. Oh, before, by the way, this is a new month. Let's just revisit the monthly time frame and see where we are. As you can see, on a monthly time frame, still we are trending up. We have this impulse leg, then we have this retrace, then we have this attempt impulse leg. Then what do we have now? The previous month candle closed below this candle right here, below the, no, did not close below. What I meant to say, it broke below and also kind of broke above. Let's check this. Let's verify this statement. Yes, it closed both below and closed above. So at this point, we cannot say much. This new candle might be a retest just to go below and maybe retest this area, maybe coming back to this area. Or this candle can be it. It can just go break above. But we will get that from lower time frames as price unfolds. Okay, let's go to daily time frame. Now that we know that this is what we have at this point, based off structure, let us revisit structure. We have this impulse pullback, impulse pullback, impulse pullback, and based off structure, we have this what we call double tops at this point. So structure is not yet violated. After this break, structure came to retest, and we don't know if this is a valid double top. It means that we must have another price. We must have a price, not another price. I meant to say, we must have a price. We must have this canal leg. Treat this maybe as a neckline. We must have this canal leg to pull back to this area, or maybe that last area that we see here. If this is a valid head and shoulder, it is a valid double top. But on another hand, I'm seeing a head and shoulder. I'm seeing a last shoulder being formed here. Why am I saying that? We have this shoulder right here. We have a head. Then we have this shoulder right here. Then after neckline break, then we can have the last shoulder. Then this will be our neckline break. Then the price can go back up. But this is what we have based off weekly time frame. Then let's go to daily time frame and see what we can find out based off this area right here. Okay, this was last week analysis where we have this consolidation area. We were waiting for price to break this consolidation area. Let's remove everything here and start new analysis. So where are we at this point? The price is trending down, but this downtrend, remember, this downtrend, it's a pullback of this leg based off weekly time frame. Then pushed up and then came back down to this area right here. So what do we have? Let's look at current price now. Now that we have an idea of what is happening, let's look at the current price right now. What we have here, we have a rally right here, then we have a consolidation, and then we found a support where price reject, and found support at this point. Attempt to break, made a test. If we say this is a support, it means that the price tested that support, close below, open below, and close above. We have this support at this point right here. We are looking at the current price. Here are the test. Then it acted as a support, this area. Then this was a test with bodies now, not with wicks. This was a test. Then we have this kind of resistance right here. Last time we checked, we had this kind of resistance. Then here's something that is interesting at this point. Based off daily, on Friday during NFP, what did we see? On Friday, we seen price pulling up and close above this resistance that we have here. Because if you can watch the previous video, what we talked about, we said we want to see a reaction. And what kind of a reaction? If we found price like this, let's try to replay the market from this point right here. If the price was like this, we were going to look out for sells, because based off this support and based off structure, it means that the price is making a new low, right? We were going to look at that point, we were going to say now the price is ready to go down. But it closed below and opened below, then closed back inside the consolidation area. And this was a minor resistance. If we can look at this area right here, we had a minor resistance based off daily. We had this minor resistance where price act reacted. Yes, we wanted the price to react because of based off this history right here. So price reacted and closed below first day on Wednesday. Price reacted and closed below. This was supposed to be something like what do we call this? This was supposed to be a retest. And after a retest, we expected the new candle to open and close below. But what happened? The next candle tested the what? Tested that minor resistance that we have based off daily. Please make sure that you take note of what I'm saying than what I'm showing here. Then let's remove that. But the price broke above that resistance, that the first minor resistance, and then it also broke above the main resistance that we have at this point. So what are we looking for right now? So now we are looking for something like this. We expect the price to open, maybe try to test this area, retest, and break above. This is what I'll be looking at this point. Otherwise, price will just make a fake out just like this area, another candle to open and close. But if the next candle, take this note, if the next candle break above this area, then it means that the market is now ready to shift to an uptrend direction. So we have about 78 pips for price to break above. It means this can happen on Monday or Tuesday. So the only thing that, let's go and look at other things that will tell us, that will validate what we see here. What I see here, I'm very, very much satisfied of what I see at this point. Then let's go to an H4 time frame and see if ever we can see something that will give us the sign that the price is moving up or down. Going to H4 time frame, this is what we had. We also, based off H4 time frame, and let me emphasize this, because of these rejections right here, these were rejections. If you have to flip your chart, these were rejections, just like these rejections right here. So based off these rejections, I couldn't trust anything to go above. Is the reason why, based off H4 time frame, this is what I did. I wanted at least price to break above this area. If the price can break above this zone and close above, then that will give me a sign that the price is ready to move up on an upward direction. Okay, let's remove everything that we have here and try to draw something fresh here. So what do we have based off H4? We have this powerful move, this momentum right here. Price moved down and formed a consolidation, attempted to break at this point because it formed a new low. Then what we have, price went back in, forming a nice structure going back in. So let's look at the current price and see if we have anything that is interesting. So we have this area, this area, this area, this area, this touch. So I'm not going to trust anything below this last known support, the last known resistance here. I'm not going to trust anything because everything else will be under this consolidation area right here. Then for this was our last known, and remember we talked about, if you watch the previous video, we talked about this being a fake out, this being a test. Then this was our last known support, then it broke below, and it kinda, if we use this, the very same thing, it broke below and come and retested that area and came back down. Let's see, based off scalpers and day traders, if they could have, if this was enough to trade. Yes, around 90 pips, 97 pips, this was enough to trade. So based off new analysis, this is what we have at this point. Based off H4 time frame, this is what we have, and this is what we also have. Then after this area right here, the price started to moving up, creating a nice structure right here, higher highs and higher lows at this point. But I am not gonna trust anything that is going to play below this, meaning that what we are looking at this point, we are looking at the long term move. We are not just looking at we are not just looking for small peanuts at this point. So we will wait for price to break above this point before I can even take a trade, to break and close above this area right here. If price can give me that, then I can take my buys, maybe trying to manage it here, this point, finally this area, and this and this and so on. So what I will be looking at, I will be looking at something like 200 pips to 300 pips for this week, I think, if not more. But can we see anything? This is all we have. Just the price is consolidating at this point. This is all we have at this point. There's only one thing that we want here. We want price to break above or price to come, but this is bad for swing traders to take trades inside the range. Only for day traders and scalpers, because you can see the low, but this is not a clean move. Maybe sometime below this also not a clean move. Maybe you would wait for price to break up below this area so that you can catch a nice safe move right here. This is what we have based off H4 time frame. We are still waiting. From last week we were still waiting. Even this week we are still waiting. Maybe new candle can come and break above, then we can take our trade. So let's go to 1 hour time frame, to H1 time frame, and see if we can find anything that is interesting at this point. Looking at the current move, this is the zone of interest right here. You see price tested, failed to test, tested, and it's coming here. This is the zone of interest. Knowing that, okay, let us mark it out. This is the zone of interest, and here's our second zone of interest right here for uptrends. So with that, let's look at the current price. Let's forget about what happened. Let's look at the current price. Here we have a nice uptrend here. We have a nice uptrend here. And if we have to outline or talk about the structure, we had an upward move. You can take it here or here. Then what happened? You pull back, up, pull back, impulse, pull back. Then you have an impulse. You had an impulse, kind of pulling back and forming a new impulse. This is where we are based off structure, higher highs and higher lows. So what we want to see, if we say this price will fail, this thing will fail right here, we must see something like this first. We must see this price to pull back somewhere around here and then retest this area, give us the sign that is going down. It means that this price has violated the structure. But without this, the structure is still intact. Let me remove all this. Without seeing that happening, it means that the structure is still intact. Let's see if we have some sort of a trend line or a channel at this point. This is point A. Let me take it with a wick. Point A, point B, then drawn to the future. This trend line is valid until such time that if I can draw point A and point B and find that this, what is happening at this point, the body touches or breaks, tested this trend line, it means that it's invalid. So point A, point B, then point C bounced. At point C, it's where we're supposed to take our trade because it bounced up. Then this is what we have. We have something like an up channel. And I cannot emphasize maybe point A based off this. This is not going to work out. Let's see point A, point B. Point B, and we have a little bit of point C there, then we can have an up channel. Others can say maybe drawing it based off that week, point A and point B, point C. They can say maybe based off this, it might be a wedge. Based off that, it might be a channel. But here's the story: wedge and channel, they mean the same thing. What are they? They are both continuation and reversal pattern, reversal price action patterns. So they both mean the same thing. We are all seeing the same thing. This is what we see for the coming week. This is what I meant by saying if the structure is violated, this is what we are going to see. If the price can come down maybe to this area and retest based off this area and go down. And most of the cases, most of the time, this is where price action pattern traders are faked out, or trend line traders are faked out, because, or they miss moves, because most of the time they will want, because if they're looking for a retest, they will want the price to come and retest this area, this level right here, or they will want the price to retest, I mean to say not this level, they will want the price to come and retest this trend line. If you are following structure and if you are following price, you will understand if the price turns here. Why? Because the price found the area of interest at this point. This should be your buy. This should be your sell, I mean to say, then going forward. But on an overall move, this can just reject or come back deep a little bit and go back down. This is the reason why most of the time you would see a reversal pattern and think that a reversal pattern and wait to take your sells, but you see it fails because you were only looking on you were only looking on what? You were only looking on price action pattern alone, but you were not looking on structure. What we see here, we don't go against the trend. The trend is your friend here. Here you want to buy until such time that the price came back and pull back and break below and retest. That's when you are buying a pullback based off this move, because this will still be an uptrend until such time that the price break below this point and retest. That will be another story to talk about. But at this point, we are buying, and the price might fail to test this trend line. It might move, see a little bit of consolidation based off an hour. Once it tests here, then give us the sign. This is where we can buy. And buy where? Look at the next area of confluence. Look at the next area, where possible area that can be your resistance. That's where you might want to manage your trade. You might want to put your TPs at this point. So what we are doing right now, we are waiting for price to play out. This is what we have at this point. We are having a structure. If you don't want to talk about the price action pattern, forget about them. We are having a structure. We are having a structure printing higher highs and higher lows. This is what we have at this point. This alone can give you a sign. If the next candle can come and break above and close above maybe this previous candle here, this is a sign for you to do what? It's a sign for you to buy. You can never ignore such things when you trade. Then let's go to our entries at this point. Let's remove everything, because this is what we control daily. Even H1, because H1 will have 24 candles on a daily. So, but this is what we control, or maybe reanalyze now and then. But once we analyzed a weekly and a daily time frame, that one will just go and see how far the current candle is based off the current day. What is it that we want to see? But those ones we don't normally reanalyze them on daily basis. We just look at them on weekly basis. But the things that we change, the chart that we revisit and change now and then are your hourly, your week, your hourly, and your entries. Your entries, I mean your 30 minutes, your 15 minutes, your 5 minute, based off your entry triggers. This is where you're going to revisit. And on H4, you can also go to H4 and tweak it a little bit based off what was printed on a previous day. But most of the time, this is what we change. Then we'll go to M30. and try to see what we have. We had an uptrend based off H1. Remember, we had that uptrend right here. We had our trend line, and we had our structure. Our structure is still printing up. This is upward trend. What we might see is that the price, or what we see at this point, let's go back at this point. Based off this reaction, what we see here, we are seeing the price printed low, failed to break this low. Price printed the low, went back up, tested the high, but open and close above these two candles. Let me just draw this based off the body. The price broke above this one. The price broke above. How did it break? Because it closed above, open and closed above with two candles based off this resistance right here. It means that the price broke above and came back in. So we are going to monitor this area right here based off 30-minute. When Asian market opens, we will be looking at this area. And what we anticipate to see at this point, for us to say that is a buy market, we must see a sign, maybe breaking. We must see a price. I would just wait for a price to break above and come back, retest. Give me a valid retest. Then I can take my buys right here. Or either that one will be seen during the London session, depending on the volume on the market. So what we have at this point, let's have our analysis. We have this area of concern right here, based off 30 minutes. We have this area of concern right here as a support. And based off price, you can see how history tells us a story. Based off price, we have another second area of concern whereby price broke above and came back to retest below it. So based off my strategy, how do I enter how will I monitor this price? I will want this price. This is how I usually manage the trades when I enter the trade. But this is how I will monitor this price. I do not want to see price breaking below this minor support at this point. I don't want price to break below, because if it breaks below this, it means that the price is still under consolidation. So what I want to see price breaking above this. I know, but I cannot take a premature entry here, because if the next candle, I know at this point what we can experience is that the new candle can break above and close and go to its direction. Because of what? At this point, like, we are 5-2 entry at this point. The new candle, if we were in the market, maybe if we were 2 hours in the market after the market opened and see something like this, I would want to wait for price to break above and take my entry. But this is a new week. We have new prices. If I can have my entry, maybe I can have my buy stop somewhere around here. I might be faked out. The price might just activate my buy stop and go back down, because we don't know what happened during the week, as the data will be filled to us. This is the reason why most of the times on Monday we see gaps and everything like that. So I don't want to take any premature trade here. So what I will do is that I will wait for price to break above this area. I will watch this price, yes, of course, and how many pips or 26 pips, wonderful pips, okay, doesn't matter. I will wait, but for price to break above and give me a nice retest, a fair retest, then going above. Then I will start to see and check I will start to see and look for my targets. If I can get a retest somewhere at this area and a signal, then I will catch my nice 38 pips at that point. That will be the trade, and that will be it for this week. Let's try to keep it as short as possible. Make sure that you replay this and trying to catch the thinking process, my thinking process, than what we draw here. And I wish you a happy trading week. Please, for you From me to you, good luck on your trading. Don't risk more.